This was me benching 225 at 14 years old for reps, and about a year before that, this is me benching 160 pounds for a 1 rep max. Now that I'm 15, my bench press has still been increasing week by week, and in this video I'll be showing you how I was able to increase my bench press numbers so quickly, despite only being a freshman in high school. We'll be going over bench press frequency, variations, accessory movements, top sets, static holds, and how to implement benching into your training. Okay, so let's first cover bench press frequency. Most people usually bench only 1 to 2 times per week. Unlike the deadlift, the bench press isn't very fatiguing, so the recommended sweet spot would be around 2 to 3 times a week. Then I would spread this out evenly throughout the week, benching on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can recover a lot quickly from bench press than you think. Assuming that you eat enough and that you're taking your time to rest properly, there should be no reason why you're going into your next session still sore. So generally, yes, you do want to be benching 2 to 3 times a week. It's kind of like a new hobby. In order to get better at that hobby, you need to do it more and more and more. A lot of people do fear that doing this 2 to 3 times a week would be over fatiguing and just junk volume, but assuming that you're not going balls to the walls heavy every single session, you should be able to recover enough. Okay, now let's go over bench press variations. Whenever you want to bench press, you don't always want to execute it the same way. Let's say you struggle with the lockout portion of the bench. You would have to choose a variation that would help you strengthen that part of the movement. Let's say you struggle with keeping your butt on the bench. Then once a week you would perform a Larson press, which eliminates leg drive, ensuring that your upper body is doing the work. For me, I would have one day where I focus my bench press on speed, so I would follow a touch and go cue, where I would explode the bar up as soon as it touches my chest. Then the next day I'll do pause rep bench press, pausing for 1 to 2 seconds at the bottom, strengthening the bottom part of the movement, preventing any momentum from helping the bar bouncing up. This is a very humbling exercise, so for this I would strip the weight down probably around 15 to 20 pounds of my regular touch and go sets. So usually I would speed rep 225, but since I'm doing it for pause reps, I would strip it down to 205 pounds. And then on the last day, I'll do close grip bench press, strengthening my triceps. By strengthening the triceps, it'll make the lockout portion a lot easier for me. Throughout the week, I'll split this up where each session I do a different bench variation. On the first session, I'll do pause rep bench press. Then the next session, I'll do close grip bench press. And in the third session, I'll be doing bench press with a touch and go cue. Since this is a compound lift, it does involve muscles like the front delt and the triceps to help press the bar up. This also involves other muscles that help you stabilize the bar, such as your side and rear delts and your lats. You can help strengthening the front delts by overloading it with any vertical pressing. I usually just do 3 sets of standing overhead press per week. And for the triceps, this is where I can add a lot more volume. Each upper body day, I would do a different tricep isolation exercise. By strengthening these muscles, you can come back to your next bench press session being able to push a lot more weight. Sometimes I would even have some accessory days where I just smash body parts that help me bench press. Like I do dips, push downs, overhead press, whatever. Another extremely underrated exercise to increase your bench press is by performing 1 set of heavy static holds every 1 to 2 weeks. This is where you unrack the bar and you hold it above your body. By doing this, you'll be training your stabilizing muscles, which can help prevent any shaking while benching. This will also help you get used to holding heavy weight. I would do 1 set of these for 15 to 20 seconds with a weight around 20 pounds heavier than my 1 rep max. And then after I do that 1 set, I'll start my first working set, which will feel so much lighter to hold and easier on my joints. And multiple elite powerlifters also do these to increase their bench press, and after I started adding these to my workout, they were an absolute game changer. Just make sure that when you're performing these, you keep a neutral wrist, because if you bend your wrist, you're definitely going to break something. You want to treat these as if you're going to actually do a rep, so you want to plant your heels into the ground, you want to push your butt into the seat, and you just want to squeeze the bar as tightly as possible. Just make sure you have a spotter, because this could be very dangerous on your joints. Another game changer is adding heavy top sets once every week. Before a bench session, I'll do 1 singular top set. This is where I'll load up the bar with a weight that I can do for about 2 to 4 reps. Like the static holds, this will help train your muscles to help them get used to carrying heavier loads than usual. Now, these sets shouldn't be balls to the walls hard. Since you don't want to fatigue yourself too much before your back off sets, you should be leaving 1 to 2 reps in reserve. Then after that, I'll strip the weight off and do sets with a lighter weight. For my top set, I would do 1 set of 240 pounds for around 2 to 4 reps, and then after that, I'll strip the weight off to 205 pounds and start doing pause rep bench press. You shouldn't be doing top sets every single bench session. Once a week is fine. Okay, so now implementing the bench press into your session just really depends on your personal preference. On a bench press session, you should be prioritizing it first, meaning it should be the first exercise you start with. This is because you want to be able to bench press when your muscles are fresh and not fatigued. Each bench session should also have a variety of rep ranges as well as RPE, or in other words, how hard you train. Every session, it's not necessarily a good idea to max out on every single set you do. People think that in order to get stronger, they need to constantly be training till failure. But if you're always doing this, your muscles probably won't have enough time to recover. Training with an RPE of 7 to 9 will be just as, if not more effective than training till failure. In fact, my bench press strength has been going up, and when I bench press, I don't usually train till failure. The most I'll train is up to an RPE of 9. I just don't find it that necessary to train till failure if your goal is strength. So one day I'll train with an RPE of 8, and then another day I'll train with 9, and then the next session I'll probably go back to 8 or 7. And if I'm deloading, I'll drop it down to around 6. You should also be doing this with your rep ranges. Throughout my experiences, I learned that if you want to get stronger at the bench, you shouldn't be always doing sets of low reps. Now, this may seem counterintuitive if you're training for strength, because you're trying to lift as much weight as you possibly can. But doing this can lead to major plateaus, and it's just not good for your joints. So one day I'll do sets of 5 to 8 in the moderate rep zone, and then the next session I'll go a bit lower, doing 3 to 6, and then the next session I'll go higher in the 8 to 12 rep zone. This is so when you do sets of bench press, your muscles don't instantly get worn out, meaning when you jump into another set, your muscles won't fatigue so soon. Okay, so I think that's about enough to wrap up this video. I've been doing these methods for the past year, and it's really helped my bench press go up. So give these tips a try and see if they work for you. If you have any other questions or benching tips, please drop them in the comments. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.